dum 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 dai da dum 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 dai da da dum 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 dai da dai da da dum dum dai dai dum da da dum da dai da da dum da dum da dum 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 dai dum 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 da da dum 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 in the shadows of the night, as the signs unfold, we stand as witnesses with fire in our souls. The olive trees are burning, the lampstand shining bright. God's power is rising up, turning darkness into light. Mighty is the one who reigns forevermore, powerful and holy, opening every door. No beast, no dragon, no storm can stand his way. Our God is mighty, God is mighty. Watch and pray, watch and pray. Elijah's spirit stirring, the prophets testify. Seals are breaking open beneath the darkened sky. From the throne the thunder rolls, the trumpets sound the call. The faithful are arising, standing tall against the fall. Mighty is the one who reigns forevermore, powerful and holy, opening every door. No beast, no dragon, no storm can stand his way. Our God is mighty, God is mighty. Watch and pray. He sent the lion and the lamb, the king upon the throne, the center of all things, the truth we've always known. Tongues of fire falling, hearts are turned as one, the two witnesses declaring, Thy kingdom come. Mighty is the one who reigns forevermore, powerful and holy, opening every door. Heaven and earth will shake, but we will not be moved. Our God is mighty, God is mighty. Watch and pray, watch and pray. The King is on his way, the mighty God. Forever we proclaim.
Alrighty, well, apparently I have this microphone set to global and I muted it. So, can you guys hear me now? Alrighty, well, I was telling you about the song. Uh, we were dancing in the driveway to that one. There's something about that Viking gruff and that beat, that drum beat, that just gets you motivated. That was a good one. I don't know if I really like the looping video. It was a little on the dark side. I made that at the last minute. May change that one up in the future. I think that the darkness of it, I think, is okay, but there were some weird things about it. We'll see. Also, that song is published and mastered, and it should start showing up as Mighty in the Watch, which is confusing because it said Mighty is the One. The actual name of the song is Mighty in the Watch, technically. Yeah, again, issues with the looping video, which makes it kind of confusing because it said Mighty is the One. So don't want to make that, just want to make that clear for you guys. But yeah, I made that one because one of the pastors I emailed finally responded to me this weekend. We did the reaction video on the one who's the evil servant who's turning and beating, who's says his Lord is delaying and is turned and eating with the drunkards and beating his servants. Yeah, he responded to me. Basically, how do I say this? That I should watch his videos because he did a study on this and taught it in 2024. So I made that. I made that song. Mighty in the Watch. Because that's what we're commanded to do. You know, it kind of makes me think that maybe I should do. I was thinking about this last night when I was beating drums on the driveway. It kind of makes me think maybe we should do or maybe I should do like dark music, like that, because people don't appreciate the fear of the Lord. I think Christians have this happy-go-lucky mentality, and they don't take it serious when it talks about like there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth, or the evil servant will be cut in two and his portion will be assigned to the hypocrites. You know, that kind of stuff. I don't know. It would probably. I don't know how well this audience might receive it pretty well. I don't know how many more people. I don't know how many subscribers we would lose if I started down this type of a road. It might be worth an album though, like maybe 7 songs, well communicated, like the dark nature, to where it's like this is emphasizing the consequences, and it might actually glorify God. There is something to the fear of the Lord. There's something about highlighting righteousness through, triumphing over darkness. So I don't know. Maybe it'll turn out really good. I have a feeling it would probably be heavy metal, but I know that's not often received by everyone. So maybe there's a different genre. I don't know. What would be a really good dark? Doesn't need to be dark. I don't know. I'll think about it. But that's kind of my thinking on the next tranche of songs, is highlighting the consequences of not paying attention to what the scripture really says and not having a true fear of the Lord. This is the creator of the heavens and the earth who gave you breath life. You don't want to offend him, make him jealous, or piss him off. Just saying. Alrighty, let's get started. Monday, July 6, 2026. Welcome back to the Two Witnesses Live. I am your host, Watchful. That is my name. My name is Gregory, in case you don't know, because that seems to be a problem for people. But in every language, every Latin-based language, Gregory is watchful. So I'm not trying to deceive anyone, which that was an accusation this weekend, that I was using that to anonymize myself. My name is quite literally Watchful. It's just most people don't go by that name. I go by that name because I love it. It warms my heart when I hear it, and I can't stand Gregory or Greg, because anybody who has that name is often asked, is that with 1 G or 2? And I don't like being associated with an egg. It's just been a pet peeve my entire life. So there you go. I am Watchful. Let's get on to it. This weekend, America marked her 250th birthday amid extreme heat, storms, and massive celebrations, and some very serious prophetic development overseas. We're going to walk through the biggest stories from Friday night through Sunday and view through the lens of watching Bible prophecy unfold. So let's get started. America's 250th celebrations. So Saturday was America's big day, 250 years since the Declaration of Independence. Across the country, there were parades, tall ships in New York Harbor, military flyovers, concerts, and fireworks. Boy, were there fireworks. I sent a drone up in the air, and I burned through every battery that I had just watching the fireworks. People must have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even more. Could have been in the millions, because where we're at, we're able to see multiple small towns, and boy, oh boy, were there some displays. It was a dangerous heat dome, though, slammed much of the nation. Nearly 160 to 200 million people were under heat alerts. And we've seen this with coronal mass ejections that we've been tracking hitting the earth. Many of them culminated on the 4th of July. Some people had noted seeing the aurora borealis in between watching the fireworks. Anyway, the temperatures hit triple digits in many places. Some events were canceled outright, including the big Independence Day parade in Washington, D.C., and parts of the schedule in Philadelphia. Then the storms hit the Capitol. Many of you may have seen these. Thunderstorms rolled through and forced a long delay of the main salute to America 250 event on the National Mall. President Trump finally took the stage late Saturday night. He honored veterans, including some over 100 years old, and highlighted historic American flags, including the one connected to Francis Scott Key. He called America a nation of winners, entering a new golden age. But the speech quickly turned political. He repeatedly pushed Congress to pass the Save America Act, his election integrity bill that would require photo ID to vote, proof of citizenship, and severely limit mail-in ballots except for very specific cases like military developments or serious illness. He said it bluntly. You won't have cheating on the elections anymore. It's very simple. The night ended with one of the largest firework displays in history over the National Mall. Boy, was it beautiful. There were also protests in D.C., of course, against the president, obviously, and reports of white nationalist groups marching through the streets chanting, "Reclaim America." Division was on full display even on the nation's birthday. Prophetic note for you watchers: when a nation celebrates its founding, while storms, extreme heat, and deep political division rage, that's worth paying attention to. Anyway, let's move over to Iran. Khamenei's funeral and existential war declaration. So while America celebrated, Iran was in mourning. We talked about this last week. Huge crowds filled the streets of Tehran and other cities for the funeral ceremonies of former Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. He was killed back in February during the opening U.S.-Israeli strike that launched the 2026 Iran war. Iranian state media and officials described the crowds as some of the largest in modern history. Millions participated over several days. At the same time, a top IRGC military advisor, Yahya Rahim Safavi, made a very stark statement. He declared that Iran and Israel are in an existential war, that the two cannot coexist, that Iran will endure, and that Israel will disappear. He vowed revenge for Khamenei's blood. This comes while indirect U.S.-Iran talks continue in Doha, focused on the Strait of Hormuz, the fragile ceasefire, and Iran's nuclear program. The ceasefire that was agreed earlier this year has been shaky, with accusations of violations on both sides. Watchers, those of you who are doing what the Lord said to do until he returns, this is kind of a big deal. This is major. The regime that has called for Israel's destruction for decades is now openly saying it is an existential fight, right after their supreme leader was taken out in a joint U.S.-Israeli operation. Going to want to keep your eyes on Iran, Israel, and the Strait of Hormuz, as if we've taken our eyes off of them. We're glued. All right, moving on to Charlie Kirk. We haven't talked about him in a while and his assassination. We got some preliminary hearing updates on the domestic front. The aftermath of the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk continues. Kirk was shot and killed in September of 2025 while speaking at Utah Valley University. The accused shooter, Tyler Robinson, is facing aggravated murder charges and the death penalty is being sought. This past week, a key preliminary hearing was underway in Utah. Prosecutors are arguing that there is actually enough evidence for Robinson to stand trial. Kirk's widow, Erica, now leading Turning Point USA, and his parents were in court. The case remains highly political and emotional for many conservatives. Other notes from the weekend: Russia continued missile and drone attacks on Ukraine, killing at least 22 in recent strikes. The extreme heat and storms that disrupted July 4th events are part of a broader pattern that we've been watching. Weather events that seem to be increasing in frequency and intensity, clearly pointing to coronal mass ejections, changes in the earth. This is not normal weather. This is not normal behavior of the earth. Something's different. Anyway, in closing, this weekend we saw America turn 250 with fireworks and political tension. While in Iran, millions mourned their slain leader and hardliners declared an existential war with Israel. The signs are accelerating. Wars and rumors of wars, division inside nations, heat and storms, leaders being removed, stages all being set. But there's good news. Our Lord is returning soon. These things he foretold about and told us that when you begin to see these things come to pass, you will believe. This is the reason he told us these things. So now, because we just came out of a weekend and we got a lot of posts to cover, I don't have anything to, any videos to react to. We're just going to go through the posts and get caught up. So we're going to do the Daily Torment Report, where we cover the posts and the prophecies of the two men who are tormenting the world the most, Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
Through trials faced, through testing days, you've kept my word, walked in my ways. Though strength was small, you held your ground. The door I've opened cannot be bound. They turned away, they closed their eyes, but I have written what none denies. Through fleeting fear and fleeting shame, you stood for truth, upheld my name. Hold fast, your crown is sure. The door I've opened will stand secure. A pillar raised in the temple of my God, forever sealed, forever strong.
All right, let's pick it up with Trump. We're going to actually try something a little different. We're going to start back where we left off and go forward because Trump just was a posting fool this weekend, and we've got a lot to get through, so we might as well start as far back as we can. For those of you asking about Fury may or may not be in the chat tonight. She pulled a muscle and is dealing with that, so we'll see. All right, so this is 3 days ago from Donald Trump. We're going to skip past that. 2 days ago. All right, big news. My administration is delivering another fantastic America First victory. The Department of Treasury will now accept philanthropic contributions. I think we read this already, but we'll go ahead and read it. philanthropic contributions of readily tradable, publicly traded stocks to help fund Trump accounts for eligible American children. This opens the door for great American businesses, philanthropists, and job creators to invest directly in the future of our children. We don't need to read the rest. The Communist Party is made up of illegal immigrants, criminals, and everybody that doesn't want to work. Yeah, that's the thing about communism is, I've talked about this before, is really simply put, communism takes from the makers and gives to the takers until the makers can no longer make. And that's the problem. That's the fundamental problem with communism. And it's prevalent with immigrants, those who don't have anything. Now, I think a lot of people don't understand. They don't really have a broad understanding of the immigrants that are the problem. There are certainly immigrants who are extremely hard workers. If they're makers and they're contributing to society, they aren't the problem. The ones that are the problem are the takers, the ones that only take, they don't make, and they just consume and destroy. They're like locusts. In fact, we've talked about the possibility of the illegal immigration being associated with the influx of the locusts mentioned in the book of Revelations, because that's what locusts do. They come in and they consume. So in a way, locusts are communists. if you want to draw a correlation there with an insect. That's a good correlation. All right, the Trump economy is soaring. The stock market has just completed its best quarter since the last time I was president. The S&P 500, NASDAQ, and Dow are all surging, sending Americans' 401ks higher and higher. My working family's tax cut mean more money in Americans' pockets. Our trade deficit continues to shrink as U.S. exports hit record month after month. America is building more, producing more, and selling more than ever. Trillions of dollars in new investment brought in by my administration mean more factories, more jobs, and more opportunity for Americans. This is winning. The golden age of America is beginning. We are just getting started. I'm kind of torn on, statements like this. If we're looking to Donald Trump and Elon Musk as potential candidates for the two witnesses, if we're looking at Donald Trump and Elon Musk as the two witnesses, they sure do spend a lot of time planning for the future. Now, what's interesting about that is I think we're deceived by our own assumptions when it comes to. Am I missing something? Is there some breaking news? I see you guys talking about something. What was I saying? I think we're deceived by our own assumptions, and me included, about the two witnesses. And this is something that I'm constantly challenged with in my mind. Is who are the two witnesses? I think we assume that just because they're called my two witnesses, that these are two who are speaking on God's behalf, like they are revealing God or something like that. And I don't think that's necessarily the case, based on what we've seen and what we've observed. So, number one, there's very little written about them. So we're really left with observing them in action to figure out what their purpose is. And it seems as though their purpose is to stand in the gap during the transition from the kingdoms of this world to the kingdoms of our Lord and his Christ. That seems to be their purpose. They stand as olive trees providing fuel for the churches so that they can continue to burn bright during the transition. Almost in effect making us the actual witnesses, making the churches the actual witnesses who are proclaiming God. The two men who stand before the Lord of the whole earth, they've obviously been put in position because it says they stand before the Lord of the whole earth. There's two ways you could read that. Chuck Missler, he's done a study on that, how that phrase could refer to the God of this world, meaning the devil. current one in authority. But it could also mean standing before the creator of the heavens and the earth. Regardless of which way you think about it, they, these two are standing in the gap. I think that's the thing that we can take away from what's written about them and what we're seeing. And it's because we assume that, they're supposed to be the witnesses. They're supposed to be Elijah and Moses, which is a dangerous assumption because they're not named. The two witnesses are not named. And, myself included, everybody tries to name them, tries to figure out who they are so that we can impose on them, these attributes, these qualities of these two men that we've read about, with Elijah and Moses, Elijah and Enoch, whoever it is that we assume these two are. But so it's, I think about that when I read these posts and these comments. With Donald Trump, it's always planning for the future because, that's really his heart's motivation is he grew up, he loves God, he loves our country, he's appreciative, and he wants to build a legacy. And it seems as though God has placed him in this position of power probably because he has the right mindset. And then likewise, Elon Musk. Everything that Elon Musk has done has been for the protection and betterment of mankind. That could be the base qualities for these two men being in the position that they're in. And God blessed them. He blessed them thoroughly and gave them power and authority so that they could stand in the gap for us right now during this transition. So I think that's what's confusing for people is maybe people aren't looking at the churches as those who are actually doing the witnessing and bringing people to God. Is they're looking for two figureheads to do the work for them. When the reality is no, we were told to watch and pay attention and, continue to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, visit those in prison, continue working until our Lord returns. That's really the case. And that's what these two men are providing for us, is they're providing us that ability. Because honestly, otherwise, my channel would not be alive today if it weren't for both of them. Anyway, let's keep going. Did it just start all the way at the top again? I don't think so. I did lose my place, though. No, it didn't start at the top. I went down 5 days ago, 4 days ago. That was so good. Trump Trump syndrome. All right, it took us down for some reason. This is why I was reluctant to click into the posts. Trump economy is soaring. Republicans, look what I just found. The Democrats are openly stating that they plan to terminate the filibuster if they ever take power and expand the Supreme Court. In other words, they will add 2 radical left states, 4 Democrat senators, many congressmen and women. Their dream of 21 Supreme Court justices, not just 13, an unlucky number, and impossible to beat number of electoral college votes. And that's the ball game. Popular vote landslides and so much else. The Republican Party will never win another election. How much longer are you going to allow this to happen? They will terminate the filibuster in their first hour. And I'll be sitting home with tears in my eyes saying, I told you so. Key House caucus leaders target Supreme Court Senate filibuster. Oh, there you go. There's this proof. There you go. Man, I don't know if this is going to work starting at the bottom. This keeps jumping like crazy. Maybe we just won't click into anything. There you go. So that's the post we just read. All right. I'm not going to watch this whole thing because it's 15 minutes, but we'll start it.
It is the eve of America's birthday, and 250 never looked better. DC's already kicking off the birthday party. Flyovers have been roaring over the nation's capital all day. The Washington Monument's ready to go too, repping the stars and stripes. And here at the Great American State Fair, it was bustling last night. Flo Rida took the stage and put on a show.
Flo Rida. He was just in my area not too long ago. I didn't go see him. Kept seeing the signs.
The biggest party in America is right here in the Capitol. It's a little hot. What is it, 105? We're not complaining.
I drove 1,500 miles. Little heat ain't stop. Hey, look, 1,500 miles, 2 busted rims, not finding our place, not having a place to put our little old bulldog.
And no air conditioning.
And no air conditioning went out on us, and it didn't stop us.
That guy came all the way from Texas. But the Lone Star State had its own party. They lit up the skyline with everything from bald eagles to George Washington.
I wanted to see a drone show.
America's greatest allies sent some of their finest vessels to New York Harbor to commemorate America 250. So America's celebrating. The world is celebrating. Who's not celebrating? Democrats. They say it sucks here.
Who wants to come over here and have a kid right now? People are getting the hell out of here. Even U.S. citizens don't want to live here anymore. MAGA America is sad, pathetic, boring, has no entertainment, no culture, no stars. MAGA America sucks. And people don't even want to come here anymore.
Who wants to come here and have a kid now? I don't know, Joy. You ever heard of anchor babies? The only people getting the hell out of here? Only Rosie O'Donnell. And if MAGA is so boring, why can't you get their name out your mouth? Look around. All you see is entertainment, music, fire.
I'm having the time of my life. I love America right now. It's been great. You know, that's another thing that reminds me of is, you know, when you think about Revelation 13, where does America fit in that? I want to say that we're one of the heads of the 7-headed beasts, because it makes sense that the head wounds was one of the heads was America, because America could be one of the 7 hills that the harlot sits on, that controlled the harlot who controls the world. I want to say that America is one of those heads, because America was wounded almost unto death. I think that's why Trump kept saying we were dead and now we're alive, because that fits what's written in Revelation 13. But at the same time, there's a lot written about the blasphemous name on America, and that head is not portrayed in the best light, which causes me to question, okay, if we are America, what does that mean when America is not portrayed in the best light? What is the blasphemous name? We may need to do a study on that and consider all the possibilities to look into it deeper, because that is something that's on my mind from time to time when I think about that. Art of the vision.
I will be the greatest president for many, many years to come.
Oh, he's trolling again.
We're going to have a lot of fun tonight.
I agree with Chuck Missler that the Catholic Church is the harlot that rides the beasts, and the beast is probably something like the G7, which is made up of 7 primary nations, America being one of them. And then, so I don't know what the beast from the land is. So the beast from the sea implies that it's democratic, because the sea is later defined in Revelation as people, nations, and tongues. So it makes sense that, you know, the beasts that the harlot rides is probably made up of 7 democratic nations. It's like America, Germany, Japan. I can't remember all 7 of them off the top of my head, but I think it's something like that. I found flaws in that thinking, so it's by no means perfect. I can't think of them. I can't remember them off the top of my head right now. I probably got them written down somewhere, but it'd be worth doing a study, be worth doing a video on. Because I'm curious what this beast from the land is. I'm leaning heavily towards AI, because like right now we're using AI very heavily in our military. I was doing some research today, and it's just mind-boggling the amount of AI that they're using. Because I could see AI enforcing something like the mark of the beasts, which it may pick one religion, probably Catholic, and enforce that on the entire world. Could also be Muslim, could be Chrislam too. I think when I looked into Chrislam, though, it wasn't anything serious at the time. I don't know. Well, it'd be worth doing another video on that, looking into that. Maybe we'll do that soon. Anyway, moving on with Trump's posts. Heading to beautiful Mount Rushmore to speak shortly. Big crowd on all TV. Enjoy President Donald Trump. I've never been to Mount Rushmore. I would love to go. That's a cool shot. Air Force One flying over Mount Rushmore. So he's thinking he wants to put his here. I'd love to see it. Pee Wee Herman. I don't know who that is, but I know Trump. Has anyone seen a happy? Let's see. He's referenced who it is. I can't remember their name. Different people. Alfred E. Newman. Anyway. Freedom 250 event schedule. So we don't need that. June 24th, June 25th. Yeah. Have you heard of Chrislam? There's an effort by the Pope to bring Islam under the fold of Catholicism. I don't know how serious it is. Just something we've talked about before. All right. Despite the heat, which isn't as bad as predicted, the crowds in D.C. are incredible. The love of our country has never been stronger. The air shows are at a level never seen before. What great pilots, what great equipment. See you all later. Speaking at around 10 p.m. at the Lincoln Memorial. The reflecting pool looks great, despite all it went through with the vandal thugs. We'll quickly drain and fix the damage done right after this big weekend. Happy Independence Day. Our country is stronger than ever. President Donald J. Trump. Yeah, I don't know. The reason I pick, Dina, the reason I pick Catholicism and Islam is Catholicism because I believe that's the harlot that rides the beast. Islam because of the imagery. So the death of the two witnesses, leaving them in the streets for 3.5 days and sending gifts to one another, that's an Islamic practice. Same as beheading. Those are Islamic practices. That's why I pick on those two religions. It's just convenient that there happens to be a coalition to join the two together. Chrislam. Yeah. Europe is learning that when you take third world criminals, you become a third world country. It happens quickly in just a blink of an eye. I was elected just in time. President DJT. All right, what do we got here?
Others we could never have imagined. We have shared in the heights of victory and the pains of hardship. Through it all, we have seen the beauty of America's soul and the steel in America's spine. Each test has forged new American heroes to remind us who we are and show us what we can be. No people on earth are so fearless or daring or determined as Americans. If there is a mountain, we climb it. If there's a frontier, we cross it. If there's a challenge, we tame it. If there's an opportunity, we seize it. No matter where you've been or where you've come from, this is your time. If you work hard, if you believe in yourself, if you believe in America, then you can dream anything. You can be anything. And together, we can achieve absolutely anything. And we will do it with American heart, American hands.
Where's this from?
And American grit.
I mean, obviously, he believes
Americans
that he posted it.
fill the world with art and music. They push the bounds of science and discovery. I want our youth to grow up, to achieve great things. We're a people whose heroes live not only in the past, but all around us, defending hope, pride, and defending the American way. The people dreamed this country. The people built this country. And it's the people who are making America great again.
Wonder where that's from. Speech. Happy Independence Day. 250. That's 5 Jubilees. Don't you know? 5 is the number of grace. Very cool. Very cool symbolism.
Today we come to the heartland of America to pay tribute to a man who embodied the heart and soul and fight and spirit of our country as much as anyone who ever lived. TR had transformed his country by the reach of his vision and by the force of his will into one of the greatest empires, ready to take its rightful place as the strongest and most respected nation anywhere in the world. The life of Theodore Roosevelt reminds us that Americans never give up. We don't give up. He never stopped, never quit, never surrendered. Theodore Roosevelt reminds us all that to be a great nation and to be a free nation, we must have courage. Without courage, you have nothing. He refused to accept failure, mediocrity, corruption, decay, or decline, and neither should we. As America turns 250 years old, we look at this remarkable man, and we recall that with effort, determination, and drive, there is nothing that Americans of competence cannot do.
I was laughing because he said never give up, never surrender. I don't know if you guys seen this movie. Have you guys seen Galaxy Quest? And it's so goofy.
Never give up.
Never give up.
Never surrender.
Never surrender.
Yes, I'm a movie buff. I love movies. I had to giggle when he said that. Never give up, never surrender. All right, what's this?
In all the chronicles of the ages, never before has any nation celebrated so magnificent a triumph as this one. We are the freest people on earth, and by the grace of God, the United States of America is the most successful, most accomplished, most exceptional nation ever to exist in human history. Liberty has prevailed here because of the culture and character of the people who declared it, defended it, and preserved it. We reach a milestone like no other, celebrate with joyful hearts and soaring spirits, because after 2.5 centuries, we know that this is not an ending. This is only the beginning of the golden age of America. Happy Independence Day to all. God bless you all. God bless you all.
So amazing. Did I tell you guys? I'm working on another song. This one, I don't know when it's going to be available. So it's based on this. I don't know if you guys if you watched the faith conference that he spoke at recently, he kept saying this, and I'm like, man, I got to make a song out of
God, all things are possible.
With God, all things are possible. He kept saying that.
With God, all things are possible, right? Right? All things. That's why, as we prepared to enter the 250th year last month, tens of thousands of patriots came together on our national mall, and we officially rededicated America as one nation under God. And we're not changing. We're not changing. With God, all things are possible. With God, all things are possible.
I'm trying to figure out how to turn that into a good song. Like, I want to start it with him saying that, with God, all things are possible. With God, all things are possible. I just can't find the rest of the right words and the right style. I've tried a lot too. So I'm working on it, but just trying to find the right, because when I'm making music, it's the way I know that it's something good is I'll listen to it over and over again. And if it doesn't annoy me, I know I'm onto something. So I'll write the lyrics, and then tweak the lyrics until I'm happy with them, and then I'll try and find a genre, which has been pretty easy lately. AI is pretty good at looking at lyrics and recommending a style, and I'd say about 60 to 70% of the time it's dead on. That 30% of the time, I have a lot of songs in limbo right now, trying to find the right style. One of them is "With God All Things Are Possible." Boy, I've tried a lot of different styles. Still looking for one. Yeah, so I don't understand how Christians, like, I can understand like atheists and liberals and, those who are influenced by, demons and other spiritual influences. I get their Trump derangement syndrome, but like Christians who should be watching, they should be paying attention to these things. I think their fear and ignorance prevents them from actually seeing him talk. They just listen to what others, which in and of itself exposes, really it's the curse exposing the liars and the deceivers. They listen to lies and then they repeat the lies. And then as a result, there's just hatred grows in their heart. And it's because they're not paying attention, because they're not doing what they're told, which is to watch. If they were really watching and they were paying attention, they would see that God works through this man, because he clearly loves God. He's constantly acknowledging God. And it's amazing. Gotta love it.
250 years of glorious independence and 250 years of majestic American freedom. Nothing like it. In all the chronicles of the ages, never before has any nation celebrated so magnificent a triumph as this one, the one that we are participating in right now. At 250 years, America is the oldest republic on earth. We are the freest people on earth. We have the most righteous and enduring constitution on earth. We are the strongest and most powerful country on earth. And by the grace of God, the United States of America is the most successful, most accomplished, most exceptional nation ever to exist in human history. And it is great to be your president.
Wow. It's so amazing that Jesus was able to tell us these things were going to happen before they happen. It's interesting. The more we learn about the seals and more we learn about this end times, the more it makes sense. And I think one of the real key factors, which is going to be very revealing, is if we're right about the magnetic pole shifts. Like, science indicates, we can see in the instruments the location of the North and South Pole is definitely moving. Now, what that means for the Earth, the speculation is that we'll get to a point where it's going to, like a magnet, when a magnet is moved far enough out of its place, will snap to the next closest point to move it. That lines up with Scripture, with the sky rolling up with like a scroll, the islands and the mountains moving out of their place. All of that stuff fits with the magnetic pole shift describes that. But it kind of puts into perspective why the delay. Like, if that is on a schedule that obviously the creator of the heavens and the earth knew, then nobody else knew when that was going to happen. And it's, this is a funny thought. You know what it could be? Have you ever seen one of those turkeys that's got the little push thermometer thing that you put into it, and when a turkey gets to a certain temperature, the little red piece of plastic sticks up, indicating that it's hit temperature? Maybe nobody knew, not even the angels being able to like estimate it, because I wonder if the amount of people this is kind of morbid, the amount of people dying and filling up the earth, because it says the earth is in pain to be delivered, right? So maybe it's the amount of people dying are what causes that magnetic pole shift in the same way that the heat causes the thermometer to pop. And maybe that's why, like, the events that have happened, like with COVID and the wars and stuff like that, the amount of people that are being killed are continuing to fill up that space in the earth to the point to where it's going to get to a place where it can't hold them any longer, and it's going to give up its dead. Just an interesting, random thought that I had. Maybe that's the case, and maybe that's why what we've been waiting for this whole time is to get to that final moment to where once the dead are returned, that could explain why the curse is it's preparing the world politically by the curse that's going through and eliminating the thieves and perjurers, preparing it for those who have been dead to resurrect, so that we can start fresh with the kingdom of our Lord and his Christ. Anyway, let's get back to Trump's posts. A lot of videos today.
We celebrate our history, our heroes, our heritage, our great American flag, and our freedom. Every American heart should swell with pride. Every American family should cheer with delight. And every American patriot should be filled with joy, because each of you lives in the most magnificent country in the history of the world. We will proclaim the ideals of the Declaration of Independence, and we will never surrender the spirit and the courage and the cause of July 4th, 1776.
Amazing.
We need to stop, look around, and realize what we have. This is the greatest country on earth. I love it, and I couldn't imagine living anywhere else.
Man, I'm going to have to deal with so many copyright issues on this video. Every one of these videos.
Running these stars and stripes.
God bless America! USA, baby, let's go!
Dog. Hey, I'm from America. 200.
So hopefully, normally the copyright issues only affect the monetization, which I don't monetize any of the live shows, so hopefully it won't be a problem. But if you're watching this in the future and there's no audio during these videos, it's because I had to delete and erase the audio in order to get the video back on the air. It's just YouTube. The pains of YouTube. Wow. Yeah, Blue Sykes. I use the New King James whenever I'm presenting on the air because King James is very difficult to read. I used to read the Amplified Bible, but it's extremely verbose. So that in and of itself can be hard to consume if you're reading. So I like the New King James. It retains a lot of the same translation and figures of speech. It's just it gets rid of the thous and thys and these and the old English stuff that makes it really hard to kind of understand. That's my recommendation. Very cool. That must have been amazing. Sweet. Air Force One with his escort. Storms bring luck to whatever the occasion. They also make events a little bit more exciting. We will wait it out. I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning or in 1 hour from now. Looks like it's going to pass. They always do. I will be there no matter what. But the what usually turns out to be a good thing. It's Saturday night. Let's have some fun. Even if we are out late. They say 11 o'clock for the speech. Who cares? Remember 2 weeks ago when the big UFC event was at 100% chance of rain all week long, and just minutes before the card started. You know, all of this is indicative, I believe, of the impending magnetic pole shift, the impending birth of the grave. What do we got here? This is the whole event, 5 hours worth. Definitely not watching that whole thing, but it's there if you want to watch it. Here we can do some highlights. Wow, well, 2 hours of pause. Wow.
So badly about some people.
Just get an idea of scale. My understanding is there was over 500,000 who attended, and then even after the rain, 150,000 came back.
Ladies and gentlemen, that means in Italian, no one sleeps. Because no one sleeps tonight, and we hear our president speak.
Wow.
And now, if you'll do me the great honor, please join me in God Bless America.
They'll definitely copyright me for that one. I learned that one the hard way. You would think that's public domain, but boy, they really jump on that one. It's got to be like, I don't know, maybe something in the algorithm. But, yeah, anyway.
With one flag, and as our Declaration of Independence tells us, we are all made in the image of one Almighty God.
Yes, we are.
And the communists will sure. Few heroes remind us more than William Carney, who escaped slavery to become a Union soldier in the Civil War, which was a very big deal at the time. On the battle he saw.
All right, that video's not playing very well, probably because it's so long. Best fireworks show ever. Over 273 Americans have been shot since the war in Iran began in Chicago. He's still pushing to get let them come help them.
Dollar dominance is essential, and everything President Trump is doing here is, if you look, the new Venezuela is invoicing in dollars. They're coming back onto the dollar system. They've been sanctioned. They were not allowed to translate or to.
I don't know if you guys saw the Nick Shirley video he posted recently. He's been trying to get into Venezuela to do a report in the area, but there's just no way at all to get inside Venezuela right now.
Transact in dollars, and now the dollar is going to be the centerpiece of their trade. They were selling discounted oil to China and not getting dollars. We're seeing in the Iranian negotiations, the Iranians will be invoicing in dollars. So everything we are doing is pushing the dollar back. It's never left as the centerpiece for the global currency system, but we're reinforcing it. I would anticipate when the Russia-Ukraine conflict ends, that Russia will want to come back in the dollar system because, again, the dollar, it's our liquidity, it's our capital markets, it's the depth and breadth. Everyone wants to be here. And I think many times, the great thing about the United States is we course correct when we go too far one way or the other. And I think we should not be shy about flexing where we have advantages, and where we have advantages, share with our allies and push.
Okay.
dollar dominance is essential, and everything President Trump is doing here is, if you look, the new Venezuela is invoicing in dollars. They're
Same video, I think. All right, what do we got here? Is this Marco Rubio announcing the new passport? I want one.
Today we are here to announce the results of the 2026 National Healthcare Fraud takedown. This announcement marks the greatest combined federal and state effort in combating healthcare fraud in history. Thanks to the leadership of President Trump and the Vice President and all those folks standing behind me and next to me.
Man, you want to know what else that they need to investigate? And I need to know how to get this in front of J.D. Vance's eyes. But the abuse of our elders. I noticed this probably 10 years ago when my grandmother, who's extremely wealthy, she went into retirement with several $1 million in the banks, and she opted to live in a retirement home to where they took care of all of her needs, so she didn't have to worry about anything. And they pretty much took 90% of her money. And from what I understand, that's not an uncommon thing. And then I've also seen this with my mother-in-law, and where she lives in a retirement community where she actually owns the home in the retirement community, and they are consistently raising her land rent to where it was, it started off at just a couple $100 to where now it's well over $1,000, maybe even more. And it's basically become unaffordable. And I don't think you can blame that just on inflation. I think that there is the fraud is so rampant in so many different categories that this is just the beginning.
We are more united than ever before. This team is working tirelessly to take down fraudsters who steal from taxpayer-funded programs and prey on vulnerable Americans. When we talk about the team that's working on these cases, I want to give some context around that. There are 9 healthcare fraud strike forces that have been part of this effort. 57 U.S. attorneys' offices, 41 state attorney general's offices, not red states, not blue states, but both working together with the federal government. Multiple law enforcement agencies, including inspector generals, some of the agencies that are here with me on this stage. That's what we talk about when we say this is an all-government approach to combating fraud. It's not just the Department of Justice. It's not just HHS.
I don't know. We really need to listen to that whole thing. Just knowing that they're combating fraud, I think, is probably enough. So you get into any specifics? I'd like to hear some specifics.
Today we are here to announce past 14 days, coordinated nationwide. As alleged in the various indictments, these individuals participated in healthcare fraud schemes involving over $6.5 billion in false claims submitted to Medicare, Medicaid, and other healthcare programs.
Yeah, I think we keep hearing that same thing. All right. Acting Attorney General Dag Todd Blanche announces the results of the 2026 National Healthcare Fraud Takedown. 455 defendants charged in connection with $6.5 billion in alleged fraud. That's what I was looking for. The announcement marks the greatest combined federal and state effort in combating healthcare fraud in history, thanks to the leadership of POTUS and VP. And all the folks standing behind me and next to me, we are more united than ever before. This team is working tirelessly to take down fraudsters who steal from taxpayer-funded programs and prey on vulnerable Americans. Let's see. Trump reposted a post from Eric Schmidt. Judge Sparkle L. Suknanon blocked President Trump's Save Citizenship verification system. It appears she kept her Trinidadian citizenship and pledged renunciation only if required by the law. If judges can stop presidents, they should not be allowed to be citizens of foreign nations. I agree. 100%. That's an atrocity. Breaking. Biden appointed Judge Sparkle Suknanon, who was born in Trinidad and Tobago, just blocked the Trump admin from using a social security database system to verify voter eligibility. We have foreign judges telling us we can't secure our elections. What are we even doing? Right? That screams invasion. See, in their desperate bid to stop President Trump, activist judges have seized power from the president, dictating the country's direction. Their blatant override of executive authority has not strengthened the Constitution. It has shredded public trust and accelerated Americans' loss of faith in our institutions. This judicial overreach must be curbed. Americans elected Trump to lead, not unelected judges. Can confirm. Yep. From Buzz Patterson, tyranny of the judiciary. Let's talk about it. Marinate on this. Number of times judges blocked a president's policy. Bush 6, Obama 12, Trump 1.0, 75 times, Biden 21, Trump 2.0, 169 and climbing. Yikes. When Democrats lose, they stomp their feet and sue, depending on activist judges, to nullify the will of the voters. This isn't checks and balances. It's lawfare on steroids. The Supreme Court has started reining it in, but the resistance never sleeps. Our republic will die in a black robe. Yeah. Yeah. This is what Trump did. They hate him. He is clearly an impediment to whatever it is that they're doing. That's why they hate him. Just 100 years ago, England was the greatest empire the world has ever seen. A few generations later, they are de-industrialized welfare zone, unable to stop third world men from invading on rubber boats. Decline happens fast. Weak leaders and suicidal empathy. King George V's last words. How is this the empire? 7 prime ministers in 10 years. Indeed. Breaking. California Democrats to raise health insurance premiums on citizens by 97% so legal immigrants can get free health care. Unbelievable. Well, what's he got to say about this?
Mr. President, on the Save America Act, you are now urging Republicans to add that to this third reconciliation bill. Yeah. What's your perspective on why election integrity matters so much for national security?
I don't know if you guys can hear that.
What we needed for our elections, we need to have voter identification, which you don't have right now on a national basis. We need it for, and the voter ID is very important, we need it for proof of citizenship. Do you believe it? The Democrats are fighting. They don't want you to prove your citizenship when you vote. You know why they want that? Because they cheat. And we also want it with mail-in voting, where you have people that are sent 7, 8 ballots, 2 ballots, 4 ballots, and a lot of them sign those ballots. Mail-in voting, and we want to be very judicious. If you're in the military and you're far away, or if you're handicapped, or if you're sick, or if you're on vacation, that you have a, but you're not going to, millions and millions.
Yeah, that's Judge Sparkle Suknanon.
Tens of millions. They have no idea what's going on. Those elections are so corrupt.
Who is one of the judges blocking Trump. Yeah, Judge Suknanon.
Mr. President, on the Save America Act, you are now urging Republicans.
All right, moving on. Breaking. Foreign-born Biden judge Sparkle Suknanon. Yeah, that's her actual name. Has just barred the Trump admin from checking citizenship data for voters per AP. Democrats are terrified about illegals no longer being able to vote. Federal government was using a federal database. Yeah, because everybody in the Democrat Party left. From Nick Sorter, breaking. Foreign-born judge. Oh, we already read that. It's a duplicate post. Oh, it jumped back down.
Today, we are announcing federal and state charges, all of which were charged or unsealed at some point over the past 2 weeks,
Yeah, stuff about Judge Sparkle. This is about the healthcare fraud. We're already across that. This is outstanding and one of the most important wins of the administration. These scammers, mostly foreigners, have stolen from tax-paying Arkansans, the most vulnerable Americans. Every single one needs to be prosecuted and, if possible, deported. Agreed. Antifa cell member, vandalism at Prairie Land, including graffiti on a guard building, punctured tires of a facility van, and broken facility cameras. Terrible. Leader of Antifa cell members in North Texas sentenced to 100 years in prison for terrorist attacks on ICE facilities. 7 additional defendants also sentenced before 1-year anniversary of attack to be combined 450 years in prison. This is the first sentencing of defendants affiliated with Antifa following POTUS's executive order designating the group as domestic terrorists in 2025. The sentence handed down today made clear the Antifa terrorists who attack law enforcement and federal facilities will face swift and uncompromising justice, said Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche. Their violent extremism has no place in our country, and the Department of Justice will continue to aggressively investigate, disrupt, and prosecute those who threaten law enforcement. Good. Antifa members behind the anti-ICE terror plot in Texas received 450 years in prison combined. Good. Do dumb stuff, win dumb prizes. Loser George Conway got crushed. What is this? 3-story tall banners of POTUS and George Washington have been hung on the front of the Department of Interior building. The wording above Washington is America's first. In reference to him being America's first president, the wording above President Trump is America's first, which needs no explanation. I love it. It's going to just destroy the Democrats. White House renovation. Some more photos of the North Portico project. Big stuff. From Greg Wisher at the United States Department of Interior. Photo just taken of the reflecting pool. As you can see, the water is crystal clear. You read about this statue already. Let's see. The regilding of the sculpture Valor is complete, and the gilding of the sculpture Sacrifice is rapidly progressing. After Sacrifice is regilded, regilding work will begin on the 2 Arts of Peace sculptures, each of which is also 19 feet tall and on top of a 12.5-foot tall solid granite pedestals. Okay. Don't really care about that stuff. U.S. Park Police is seeking the public's assistance in identifying the individual in notice below in connection with destruction of government property, investigating related to the reflecting pool. And so here are photos comparing the reflecting pool 1 week after refilling it under Obama and President Trump. Very cool. After. Before. The advanced nano bubbler technology very effectively killed the algae that has plagued every Lincoln reflecting pool reopening. Most infamously, Obama's reopening since 1922. The reflecting pool water is crystal clear, and our National Park Service team is now vacuuming up dead algae resting at the bottom of some of the reflecting pool, just like the destroyed Iranian Navy resting on the bottom of the Persian Gulf. Oh my God. Righty. Yes, sir. From Greg Weischer. As noted on Sunday, the advanced nano... I don't think anybody really cares about that. Greg Weischer. Okay, let's get past these things. Greg Weischer, statues. Okay. All right, what do we got here?
But it was temporary. It was supposed to be temporary. She knew it was temporary. What did Biden do, the Biden administration do, in its last year in office, Stephen?
Well, so first of all, there you see that throwback from Janet Napolitano, who said there's an earthquake in Haiti, which, by the way, is total BS that we have TPS for earthquakes, but put that aside. There's an earthquake in Haiti, so she's announcing TPS for a few months while they're recovering from an earthquake. That was in 2010, 15 years ago. Then the Biden administration, in its last year, extends TPS to every single illegal alien from Haiti while they are flying them en masse into Springfield, Ohio, across the Midwest. It was a formal policy of replacing the communities that lived in, settled, and sustained these communities for generations. It was one of the most heinous things this government has ever done. And yes, under President Trump, let me be very clear. The illegal alien Haitians are going back to Haiti. They can build their country there.
Good. It's just the same.
But it was temporary. It was
same video. Stephen Miller makes it clear Biden's Haiti policy is over. It was one of the most heinous things this government has ever done. The illegal alien Haitians are going back to Haiti. They can build their country there. Scott Lebedo is the American artist and activist best known for his bold, patriotic artwork celebrating the United States first responder and military service members. Originally from Staten Island, New York, Lebedo gained national attention for transforming ordinary spaces into large-scale American flag murals and public art installations that emphasize themes of patriotism, freedom, and national pride. His work often blends pop culture, political commentary, and Americana, making its style instantly recognizable through vivid colors and dramatic imagery. Beyond traditional painting, he has become known for attention-grabbing public projects and advocacy efforts supporting veterans, police officers, and firefighters. Lebedo's art has been featured across the country on buildings, vehicles, and landmarks, earning him a reputation as one of the most outspoken, patriotic artists in contemporary American culture. Indeed. Awesome. President Trump announces 32,000 new jobs, including 2,600 manufacturing jobs in Pennsylvania. More Americans are working today than at any time in history of our country. Yeah, and actually, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but, you know, the assumption was that with the rise of AI, people would start losing their jobs to AI. We're actually noticing the opposite trend. There's actually a lack of There's not enough people to actually do the jobs, even if they're using AI. AI has actually surged the demand for workers, which is interesting. A lot of companies that laid off people because they thought they had replacements for their jobs are regretting it. President Trump reveals the U.S. military has just achieved a stunning turnaround to record recruitment on all fronts. All right, cool. Massive cheers from Mack truck workers in Lehigh Valley as President Trump celebrates their factory rocketing back after decades of abuse by American last admins. Cool. Trump in Pennsylvania, they put China first, we put America first. The average price of gasoline nationwide is down 60 cents a gallon just from a short while ago. But remember that our oil in the middle of this conflict was less than it was. Yeah, okay. We get it. TikTok stats. The day before the Iran conflict. Brent crude oil, $72. That's his point, to where it's now, it's like 60, as of February, $67, which it's now, I think, below, it's getting close to $60 a barrel. Trump administration accomplishments. Probably don't need to read that. It's 3 pages long. ended taxpayer-funded student loan forgiveness for radical anti-American activists, provided $12 billion in aid for American farmers. Yeah, he's been busy nonstop since he started. Good old Abe. First statue for Triumphal Arch. Amazing. Very cool. Plants like this are going up all over the country. Many are defense. They are massive. Mega factories. I wonder if Elon's helping. They do this, and the Republican Party is dead. Key House caucus leaders target Supreme Court Senate filibuster. Indeed. Thank you, FIFA, for doing what was right and reversing a great injustice. There is nothing Americans can't do except get voter ID, proof of citizenship, or most importantly of all, terminate the filibuster, which the Democrats will do immediately upon gaining office and add 2 more states, 4 more senators, 8 more congressmen, and at least 20 more electoral votes. And it will be impossible for a Republican to ever be elected president again. I don't want to be the last Republican president. Get smart, Republicans. If you don't, you won't be in office for long. President Donald J. Trump. Stealing toothbrushes. Biden's solution. Lock up the toothbrushes. Trump's solution. Lock up the criminals. Fair point. I would like to congratulate Freedom 250, a great White House commission, and Pyrotechnico on producing the most spectacular fireworks show I've ever seen. And I've seen them all. Congratulations on a job well done, President Donald J. Trump. Yeah, in the rain, to say the least. The crowd at 7:05 in the evening was 422,000 people. All were forced to leave because of the weather. The event was canceled, and everyone was gone because of lightning. When I heard that it was canceled, I immediately overturned that decision and waited a while for the people to come back. Incredibly, at least 150,000 people returned, and it was an evening more spectacular. Let's see, and it was an even more spectacular evening than it would have been as normalized. It showed work under pressure. Congratulations to the Secret Service and law enforcement on being able to get so many people back into the arena in such rapid fashion. It was an amazing evening, made even more spectacular by the fact that immediately after the great firework ended, the rains came down full blast. Very cool. Very nice pictures. America is back again. That's all we have now, just pictures. This is why kind of why I started at the end. President Trump drops his bombshell saying DNI Pulte is firing dozens of intelligence. I voted for this. Yeah. Restraining order needed. Obama, yes we can. BLM. If no one goes to jail for election fraud, what incentive is there not to cheat? Exactly. Everybody's just going to have to cheat. That's all we got. Just photos. Oh, I miss Hulk.
From Catskill, New York, weighing 217 pounds. His professional record consists of 37 wins, 1 defeat, with 33 KOs. He is a former undisputed.
That's an old video. 5 minutes long. We don't want to watch that whole thing, though. Mike Tyson needed just 1 round to make a statement. Henry Tillman never had a chance against Iron Mike's explosive knockout power. Would anyone from that era have survived that version of Tyson? Trump America in 2026. Nice. I'd like to congratulate Freedom 250, a great White House commission, and okay, we already read that. Oh man, did we sit back down there at the bottom? California's FUBAR election integrity. FUBAR, fucked up beyond all recognition. Election integrity, voter rolls, one of three commentary in the recent election. 3 California family members, including me, received 6 ballots to their home. 2 additional ballots for former occupants that moved out of California 10 years ago, and 1 additional for a relative that died over 5 years ago. I know firsthand, as I was at the funeral. Twice as many ballots as justified. 3 legitimate voters could have voted twice, but didn't. They're going to force us to have to cheat, and then they're going to prosecute us for cheating in the future, if there is a future. Wow, extremely well written. Minister Chickley, thank you for stating this so clearly on behalf of the Israel Foundation, Heritage Foundation. We share your gratitude and deep respect for President Trump. What do you say? Israel has never had a greater friend in the White House, and it is doubtful that we will ever see another leader who has demonstrated such unwavering friendship towards the Jewish state. President Trump will be remembered in history as the leader who advanced something. I was in Madrid last week and coincided with Pope Leo. They called him the Peace Pope. I believe God chose President Trump to bring peace to the world, and he's doing just that, while my Pope has only criticized and wrongly judged. True that. Thanks to Trumponomics. Whoops. Thanks to Trumponomics, the U.S. economy is hotter than the New York Knicks. On behalf of the men and women of the front lines protecting America's borders, we wish to thank House GOP and Senate GOP for passing the Save America Act. This will allow ICE and Border Patrol to remain fully funded without the threat of a shutdown impacting pay and operations through FY. I thought that was already taken care of. Senator Graham believes the South Carolina is Trump country, not Marjorie Taylor Greene Massey country. If you had any doubt about where Mark Lynch would be going forward, Marjorie Taylor Greene's endorsement in Lynch's campaign should remove all doubt. Lynch has hooked himself up to Massey and now MTG, Circus Freak, are in the anti-Trump show. They are anti-Israel and anti-Trump to the core. Interesting how that happens. Senator Graham is proud to have supported President Trump and Senator Tim Scott, along with the support of legions of pro-Trump Republicans. Okay. Public school in St. Paul, Minnesota. Every girl is in a hijab in kindergarten. Yikes. I thought that was Africa. Good Lord.
Rand Paul was here. Hi, Rand. Boy, oh boy, it's nice to have Rand. It's a good thing to have Rand if he knows what's important. Eric.
See, Anna Paulina Luna, I will be putting forward a resolution to avoid the fraudulent impeachment of President Trump during his first term in office. Russia collusion never happened. This has been proven by evidence released by ODNI Gabbard. It was a terrible lie that tore this country apart and was plotted by a weaponized intelligence agency under Obama. There is no monetary value that can be assigned to the damage this lie caused. It destroyed family relationships with one another, our country's camaraderie, and our relationship with another nuclear superpower, Russia, that could have resulted in war. Thank goodness the admin has started to restore that relationship, but history should reflect that what actually transpired. Today is my freedomversary from Alice Marjorie Johnson. 8 years ago, President Trump granted me clemency and gave me a second chance to life. After nearly 22 years in prison, I walked out of the gates and into the future I had prayed for but could no longer see. I will never forget that moment. Prison took many things from me, including years with my family and the loss of my parents and a son. But I never lost hope or faith that my life still had purpose. The gift of freedom came with a responsibility to help others. Over the last 8 years, I've advocated for second chances supported criminal justice reform, and now serve as White House pardon czar. From prison cell to the White House, this journey has been possible through God's grace and President Trump's courage. Every day, I strive to honor the gift by helping others find hope and a path forward. Thank you to everyone who prayed for me, believed in me, and supported me along the way. Oh, that's nice. Biden borders. Democrats have nothing to run on. Washington Examiner columnist Joe Concha said President Trump's historic run in the economy and stock market is creating trouble for Democrats. Yeah. Alrighty.
Look at that, boys. Look at that. I got a question. How many Washington monuments do you see?
2.
Wait, 2? Wait, but I thought there was only 1 Washington monument.
Reflection. Yeah, there's 2.
There's 2 now. Why is there 2 now? Why is there a reflection?
Because Trump did it.
Who made that?
Trump.
What? Is that true, Mama?
It's quite true.
It's quite true, and the water's going to be filling up for another week, and it's going to look awesome. What do you guys have to say to the president?
Nice.
Whatever. Selfie at the pool. Took the kids down to the reflecting pool last night, and they couldn't believe there are 2 Washington monuments now. Hilarious. Yep. Thank you, President Trump, for your warm wishes. I look forward to working with you further to advance India-U.S. comprehensive global strategic partnership for the benefit of both our nation and the world. From the Narendra Modi. Before and after. Oh, that's a nice restoration. Very cool. Got to be getting close to the top here. Last thing was posted just a few minutes ago. 9 hours ago. Great news. I've just been informed that one of the biggest, best, and smartest retailers in America, Walmart, will be lowering prices by a lot at my administration's request to celebrate our great 250th birthday. Walmart will in particular be dropping the price for a pound of ground beef by almost 15%, among many other products. This is a huge deal for many Americans who smartly shop at Walmart, which is a truly patriotic company who loves the USA. My administration is lowering prices that Joe Biden incompetently raised with the worst inflation crisis in history, a total disaster along with the southern border, the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan, and many other failures. Just as I promised, oil prices are plummeting fast and gas prices at the pump are dropping too, just like the egg and prescription drug prices, which I am bringing down by historic levels. Walmart is stepping up in a big and bold way, and other retailers should follow the lead of these absolute patriots. Together we will make America stronger and greater than ever before. Woo! There you go. That is the end of Donald Trump. Oh my gosh, that took us like 40 minutes to read. So many posts. All right. Elon is not, he's got like 5 posts, so we're going to go pretty quick on Elon's. At least when I checked, that's how many he had. Maybe a dozen at the most. Picture of him in, what is that, 1994. God bless America. Wow. One of Elon Musk's companies, Tesla, is making cars for blind people. Another one of his companies, Neuralink, is working on restoring sight to the blind. Very cool. Oh, look, the migrant who stomped a white Swedish man to death was a rapist because, of course, he was. Meaning, if the authorities did their effing job and deported him, Christian Zedig's children would still have a father. From Basil the Great, the migrant who attacked and killed Swedish father Christian Zedig in a football fan zone had multiple previous criminal charges. We see so much of that. It's really sad. That was fun. I'll do it again when I get out, said a 22-year-old Gambian violent offender after he stabbed a 55-year-old Italian man 20 times. And he will be released again, perhaps to succeed in killing a European next time. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Making sure Cybercab meets the needs of the blind. Cybercab at the National Federation of the Blind's annual convention in Austin for a hands-on experience of its accessibility features for blind or visually impaired customers. For example, braille lettering on the physical controls, space for service animals, and assistive, probably, devices. Cybertruck. With flag. Very cool. We need a bit more shame. People used to avoid certain self-interested behaviors to avoid shame, private and public. Law and customs assumed this. Now 38% of Stanford students claim to be disabled. 40% young women claim mental illness for Social Security disability. Shame. Richard Simmons, the owner of a UK-based used car sales company that specialized in EVs, has found that the batteries that power these cars, Teslas, continue to perform well after several 100,000 miles. They are proving themselves to be exceptionally reliable. Can confirm. One of the most misunderstood facts is that the U.S. was founded with abundance, whereas it was in fact built from scratch. At the time of founding, Britain was the greatest nation growing in the 7 seas, while China was at its height with total land dominance in the east. Yep. Starbase. What a way to celebrate. Oh man, I imagine he did some pretty epic shows on 4th of July. That would have been a sight to see. Obviously true to many students of history, America is the most powerful empire, yet it has not annexed another sovereign country since 1898. It's arguably the most morally constrained in history. No previous hegemonic power with military superiority exercised so little direct annexation during its period of dominance. Interesting. Apart from a few tiny blips, America has been below replacement rate for 55 years. America's birth rate is in serious decline. The graph should terrify you. U.S. fertility has fallen about 23% since 2007. Wow. The problem with truth is once you see it, you can't unsee it. Indeed. Are we in a... No, we're not in a thread. Space is the only way to scale. The only way to scale at scale. All right.
We all had to sit and watch that vile commie mayor sit on the wrong side of our founding fathers' desk to try and lecture us about our own history. Notice how the communist always attacks your history. The communist must attack your history. Why? Because history is what anchors you. It's what makes us attached to something. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. History breeds an almost irrational attachment to things, an attachment that is more powerful than anyone can imagine. Erasing history is how you demoralize people, how you unmoor them and detach them from their society so you can take it from them and rewrite it in your image. Think of your country like a home. What makes your home special? It's not the marble countertops or the expensive furniture or the fancy appliances. It's the memories you have there. That backyard is where we got married. That living room rug is where our son took his first step. Hey, don't touch that. That was his first teddy bear. It doesn't matter how torn and tattered that thing is. You will never get rid of it. And you will fight anyone who tries to take it away. Why? Because you have history with it. You ever buy a new home? Remember those first few months? Even the first few years there, it doesn't feel like home. It could be a million times nicer than the crappy apartment you came from, but it doesn't feel like home for a long time because you don't don't have history there. It's easy to knock down some walls, change the floor plan. If you have no memories to attach you to it, it's just wood and drywall. Who cares? Get rid of it. Memories make it a home, even the bad ones. Hey, remember when Dad hit his head on the rafter in the attic and we spent all night in the ER? That's the avocado tree I fell out of and broke my first bone. Isn't it weird how even the bad memories make us cherish a place? It's not like we long for those bad times, but bad times are part of what makes us stronger, a part of what makes us who we are. How can you resent those memories without fundamentally resenting who you are? History is so important to humans that even bad memories anchor us to our home. And that's what the communist always starts with, the bad memories. Oh, we can get rid of that little story. We can knock down that statue. We can change the name of that street. That's a bad memory from our history. You don't want that memory hanging around. You're not a bigot, right? And slowly but surely, this wall comes down, then that wall gets sledgehammered. The rafter where Dad hit his head, that's gone. The rub where your son took his first step, that's gone. The gash in the wood floor where you stomped the glass on your wedding ceremony, that's gone and replaced with shiny vinyl planks. And now you've got a brand new home with no memories. Now what? Do you care what they do with it? Do you care what color they paint the walls? Nah. Do whatever you want. I don't care. I have no attachment to it. I have no memories with that. You love your home because of the memories you have there. And that's why the communist always must destroy your memories, destroy your history. If the communist wishes to take your home, he must first destroy your memory of it so he can erase your attachment to it and demoralize you. Mao destroyed what he called the four olds: old ideas, old culture, old customs, and old habits. If you call them olds, it makes them sound bad. You don't want that old thing. Get rid of it. But it is fundamentally human nature to cherish your history. We crave learning about our history, where we came from, who our ancestors were. That's human. But communism is an evil, anti-human religion, so it must destroy what makes us human. The communist destroys your history so he can take your home and rebuild it in his image. That's why it's your patriotic duty to celebrate today unashamed. It's okay to love America. Not only is it okay to love America, it's necessary to love America. We are the only bulwark against tyranny on this earth. When Europe descends into madness time and time again, it's our sons who cross the oceans to fight and die for freedom and human dignity. We don't let evil people destroy our history and rewrite it in their image. This is Independence Day. It's not just a number on the calendar. Don't say Happy 4th. That's commie gobbledygook.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
We say Independence Day. Today we celebrate the men who reclaimed a beautiful slice of this earth and claimed it for God, for the values of freedom and rugged independence. Our history is messy. Our history is violent. Fuck yeah, it is. And that's why we love it. We aren't cowards. We don't turn our backs on the painful memories because they make us who we are. Be proud of our country, damn it. America is the birthplace of every great invention of the last 250 years. Like literally everything. Airplanes, spaceships, internet, telephones. As a country, we are batting 1,000. Not only is it a miracle that this radical experiment in self-governance even survived past 1776, but we are the champions of the world. Be proud of that. Be proud of your history. Millions of your ancestors fought and died to preserve it. Commie Mamdani's ancestors never bled for this country. He has no history here, so he has no attachment to our home. He has no place to rewrite our history and lecture us about what our country stands for. So celebrate today. Show some American pride. Honor your history. Raise your flag. Raise a finger and say, fuck you, communists. This is our home, and you can't have it. Today we celebrate our Independence Day. God bless America.
Wow. That a slow burn, man. Got really good there at the end, though. Now I understand his comment. Hell yeah! Wow. I like that Spencer Pratt. Cool guy. Probably not going to watch this. It's 5 minutes, too.
Oh, sweet land. Sweet land of the weary and the wild. Oh, where.
It's just a music video? I think it is. Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's see. July 4th. That was Saturday. Only AI can keep up with AI. That's what will guide the entire security model of the next decade. Yeah, AI is getting scary. Long live freedom, damn it. The founders didn't promise happiness. They protected the pursuit of it. No other nation's founding documents made one's rights to chase their dreams a core purpose. That's why America has always been the ultimate haven for the world's most ambitious. Grateful to call it home. Indeed. Happy 250th birthday, America. As a nation, we have so much history to celebrate. And at NASA, we are just getting started. God bless the USA. Happy 250th birthday, America. Patriotism is love for your country's culture and people. It is defensive. Nationalism is love for your country's state. It is power-based. This is the essence of the distinction Orwell drew between the two terms. Fair point. I love everything about the 4th of July, and the 250th anniversary is especially great for me because I am joining with family and friends for a reading of the Declaration of Independence, a barbecue, and fireworks. It does not sound fun. I'm sorry. Have you ever tried to read the Declaration of Independence? I get through the first part of it, but as I reflect on what happened over 250 years that followed July 4th, 1776, it seems like an impossible dream come true. Think about it. All right, think about it. Imagine that at the outset of July 4th, 1776, you were asked what the odds for success a country would have if it would be mostly made up of poor immigrants coming from, different countries with very different cultures and religions, and it would be governed by a political system in which the leader reported to these people who themselves had to vote, compromise, and submit to life-changing decisions that many disagreed with. Would you bet that it would do exceptionally well and improve for 250 years? I would have thought that virtually impossible. Yet America has been exceptional for 250 years. I also see that it was shockingly terrific and lucky for me to have lived through the best part of those 250 years because I was born 4 years after 1945, post-World War II, beginning of the new America world order, which gave me the best time in history and the place in the world. These reflections give me a deep appreciation for the principles and practices, the secret sauce that created and sustained this remarkable American story, a fear that we are losing sight of them, and a sense of responsibility to contribute to sustaining them. Very cool. Today we are proud American heritage. Here's to the next 250 years.
All of us, connected through the generations, rich and poor of every job, we are a people. Connected through the generations, rich and poor of every job, we are a people formed by generations of self-governance and personal industry. We are formed by Frontier Assembly Hall and congregation, by River Valley and prairie and factory floor.
I don't know, I'm getting tired of some of this stuff. Let's see if there's anything else. Let's see. For 250 years, America has been the greatest nation on earth. Yeah, we get it. I read the Declaration of Independence out loud today with heartfelt conviction. It's a work of genius, but also purity of soul that resonates to this very day. Nice. Okay. One of the most American values I love is optimism. We're going to make the future good. Elon Musk. Elon Musk is an American by blood. His grandfather, Joshua Haldeman, 6'6", and father to May Musk, was born in 1902 in Pequot Lakes, Minnesota, and even paid his way through college by competing in rodeos. The most American thing imaginable. Ah, interesting. Good for him. All right, there we are. That is the end of his posts. All right, well, it's always a long day when we got to get through 3 days of posts, but there you go. There you have it. Wrong button. Wow. All righty. Well, God bless America. That seems to be the theme. Boy, oh boy, howdy. It really kind of makes you wonder where we are and what's going on in the world today. I mean, I truly believe that America was on its deathbed under the Biden administration. And that if it weren't for Donald Trump and Elon Musk, if Donald Trump hadn't won, hadn't been allowed to be put into power again, we would not be having this conversation today. Same thing with Elon Musk. If he hadn't bought Twitter, we wouldn't have the freedom we have on the internet today. Those two things were vitally important. And we're still writing that out. I don't know how long it goes, but it seems they started working together January 20th, 2025, and that puts us at about 532 days. So do we have another 700 days or so? We might. I don't know. We've got August 12th coming up here, which is an eclipse to pay attention to, which lands right at the end of that 60-day moratorium where Trump gave for negotiations with Iran. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. We could be looking at a great tribulation where things get terrible globally. Now, I hope that's not the case, but it could be. We'll see. All I know is America is great. I believe that it is the product of God's of those who believe in God and put God first. And God has not left America. I believe what's happening is we don't fully understand everything that's happening, but ultimately what it is it's exposing evil. The things that are happening around the world are exposing the thieves and the perjurers. The thieves, those who call evil good and good evil, and those who swear falsely by God's name. They're being exposed. And it's a time to be patient for sure. But it sure is amazing. It's amazing to be alive during this time. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you like this content, like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell if you want to get notified when we go live. We go live Monday through Friday at 4:30 p.m., 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. God bless you guys. I really appreciate you joining me. I look forward to what tomorrow holds. God bless you guys. Keep looking up. Shalom.
Our God is a mighty God. He stands eternal and strong, with power, justice, and truth. Our God is a mighty God. Our God is a mighty crushes the dark. Our God is a mighty God. Heavens tear open, worlds tremble at his battle march. Every darkness, every tyrant, every curse will fall when the Messiah rises and announces the final call. He splits the seas with a roar like a lion, commands the legions in celestial advance. The lightning his hammer, the thunder he wields. He vanquishes evil and makes the broken healed. Our God is a mighty God. He stands eternal and strong with wrath and glory. His voice shakes the cosmos, writing the
listening to my wife stock the fridge. Sorry about that. God bless you guys. Shalom.